Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday afternoon. Welcome into this, another edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham, soon to be joined by Randy Lee. We'll be with you for the next hour, taking your comments, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics. A lot going on, obviously. It is game week. The depth chart is out for the Auburn Tigers for this upcoming season. Obviously, we'll kind of look at that and break that down a little bit. Some pretty important news as Randy joins me now. Obviously, Alan Green out. We talked about that a little bit yesterday on the program. Certainly, if you got any thoughts about that, we'd love to hear that. Nick Brahms officially done as an Auburn Tiger. Wish him certainly the best in his career. He's, I think, going to eventually become a pilot if he's not already a pilot. He probably has. I'm sure he's already got his license, but he's been a good player for the Auburn Tigers for many years, and hate that he's not going to be able to come back and participate this year, but that was a long time coming. Not sure why that announcement took as long as it did, but nonetheless, it was made pretty much yesterday. Nick Brahms not going to be a part of the 2022 season. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about, obviously, game week leading up to Mercer. Final thoughts kind of leading up to the season, what it's going to look like, TJ Finley being the starting quarterback for this Auburn team. So, as always, the phone lines are open. Love to hear from you, 256-234-6221. Give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind. Or dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page, just Sports with a Z, and comment away, and we'll get to as many of those as we can throughout the show today. Randy, good to see you.
Sorry, I'm a few minutes late.
Hey, man.
Andy Graham,
you're a businessman. You got business.
Well, businessman, but this is a little bit more of a friend meeting than a good business meeting here, as we had Auburn Great, and now the executive director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, Alvin Briggs, in our office. So glad to have Alvin in Alexander City and meeting with us and talking a little. We may have talked business for about 3 minutes, and then it was a solid hour of Auburn football.
Oh, boy.
Movements going on in the athletic department, opinions on all, and opinions on the state of Alabama. And when you're in a role like he's in, buddy, all politics come into play. And he's doing a tremendous job. Just very, very glad to have our relationship with him and the HSA and how much high school sports means to us, Andy. And Auburn football means a lot to all of us, but we'd like to see more high school players here from this state end up at Auburn than what we've currently got committed. So let's hope that changes in the next few months, Andy Graham.
No doubt about it. I mean, it seems to be happening in every other sport.
Yes.
Baseball looks, tremendous. One of the best recruiting classes we may ever have is looking to be shaping up. Basketball recruiting continuing to go extremely well. I don't know why. It'll eventually turn around, but I don't know what the catalyst is going to be for this Auburn team.
Well, I think the catalyst
football team
is wins, and the competition that we have.
Which comes first, Randall?
I think
the chicken or the egg.
Well, I think that you're going to have to put together a season, and we can go ahead and start this up. The more that I look forward to this year, there's one good thing that we always felt like we had during the Pat Dye era, and that was we were going to play defense and we were going to be physical. Mm-hmm. And I can sit up here and knock the quarterback play and knock the offensive line and question what the receivers are going to play like, but I don't sit up here today and feel like we're going to be very bad defensively. I think we've got a chance to be very good. I think we've got a chance to be really good up front defensively. And if that's the case, man, you really are picking it apart a little bit much. Football, yes, it's an offensive game, And to win championships at times, you got to outscore the opponent, which means both teams are scoring a lot. But for the most part, if you play a physical brand of football on the defensive side of the ball, which we got to tip our hat to Gus Malzahn with bringing back to Auburn, then I like our chances in a lot of them. And, yes, we could lose 4 or 5 games, but I think we'll be in most. And so my answer to you is we got to win the ones we're in. You can't have last year where you have a chance to beat Alabama and not, or you have a chance to finish Mississippi State off and you don't. You know, you got to win those. And once you get that number to 8, 9, I really think it's going to take 9 or 10 wins to get to the point where you start turning some heads. And I think you'll get buy-in, and I think the deals will start coming together. But, you know, until the turmoil ends within the athletic department and somebody puts a plan in place that everybody can gravitate to, I think we're going to continue with these issues at Auburn.
Your first time being on this week, Alan Green, not going to be renewed, resigned, whatever you want to call it. You upset?
No, I'm not necessarily upset, but since he became part of the leadership role there at Auburn, I wanted to hear and see more of him. I thought that he was a good face for the athletic department. I thought he spoke extremely well, and I wanted him to be more vocally a leader, because there are so many of us that feel like there's old-timers that are constantly around the program causing issues and trying to pry into places that they probably shouldn't be. And Alan Green leaves, and I don't feel any different than that. Actually, I feel as strong about that statement as any point in time of my life, and that is saying something. So I hate that he wasn't that, but, you know, I don't think he leaves out of Auburn giving us a black eye in any way.
No.
I think that he went about his business in a professional manner. And hopefully the president now can go out and hire who he wants, and we get this thing going in the right direction. You know, Alan Green has had a highly successful athletic program outside of football, as successful as any point in time in my life. And let's don't forget that. Now, some of the coaches, I can read the same storyboards that you're reading, that maybe some of the coaches in those other sports asked for more than they got from Alan Green, but, you know, you think that's coming from Alan Green? Do you think Alan Green wouldn't want a war chest of about $30 million sitting over there extra every year that he can go spend on flights to South Carolina and flights to other locations instead of sending us on a bus? I mean, don't you think he's probably working in a budget? I bet he is.
Yeah,
So,
I don't recall anybody else, though, cutting budgets in a public way and busing football team and an SEC football team to South Carolina.
well, and maybe, you know, without dealing with the financial side of it, it's hard for me to believe that he's just trying to pinch pennies to be pinching pennies.
I think that's just his mentality, and I think it's fiscally responsible, and I think that's wonderful in the real world. The SEC is not the real world.
No, it's not the real world, but do you think there are powers ahead of him? He's not the top of this
No.
decision-making. You know, I have a hard time believing he's the one creating the budget.
I'm pretty sure he's the one that came up with that because he's the one that got overruled by General Burgess and the president.
Currently. But how about the previous president?
Now, you talking about Leith?
Yes.
I don't.
Which is where a lot of this happened.
Oh, I would agree.
Okay, so my point is, do you think it's more of him making that decision or powers above him making decisions that he had to come down and administer to?
I think that's kind of how he governed at Buffalo, and I think he tried to bring that same mentality to Auburn, and I think it befuddled him that this is how I don't understand how you people cannot think this is a good idea to save money and to be more efficient. And it's just, I mean, again, in the real world, that's absolutely correct, and it's counterintuitive to think this is otherwise. But you can't do that in the SEC. It's got to, when you don't have money, you still spend like you're a drunk sailor. That's just the way the SEC works. That's the way it's always going to work.
It's just wild.
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
It's
but
like
it's
those.
true.
It's like those of us that have worked in the private sector, for a lot of our, I'll say this. I won't say what committee I'm on, but I'm on a large committee here in the state that's got heavy funding that funds, I'm not even going to say what projects, but projects. And so, I welcome to this committee and picked the phone up as I left, and I called my father and I said, I just sat through something I don't think I've ever would have sat through in my life. Honestly, within about 3 minutes of the meeting starting, the worst thing they did is not spend all their budget. Like, all the rest of it is bad, but the idea that they didn't spend their entire budget last year is the worst thing that they did. Did you ever think that that would be the case? I mean, I'm sitting here as a private industry, and if I can save money and not lose efficiencies, then why would I not do that? If I can scale without losing efficiencies, why would I not do that? And that's not the way it works. No. So you're talking to me like I'm a public, somebody that works in politics and stuff, which I think in that role, you're exactly right, and I'm wrong. You've got to think that way, Andy.
It's the government. It's the United States government. That's the only thing close that you could even. I mean, if you spend money that you don't have,
that's wild.
And you do. I mean, but in college athletics, you spend money to make money.
The more I sit here, Alan Green, I respect you. I respect you more after this 12 minutes of talking than I did before.
We got to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe. wickedly delicious relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Concrete Basement and Walls LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls LLC.
Glenn Smith in Opelika was recently recognized as a top performer in the 2021 General Motors Mark of Excellence program. All three brands, Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. These awards are accomplishments reserved for only a select few outstanding dealerships and is a symbol of extraordinary performance in sales and customer satisfaction excellence. These awards represent the highest honors in the industry.
We are honored to be recognized by General Motors for our commitment to excellence. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you. For about 45 more minutes left in today's show, we are brought to you each and every day by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team, saving people thousands of dollars each and every year on their home mortgage. Give them a call today, 256-397-0248, 256-397-0248. We'll get to your comments in a minute, but first, let's go to the phone line.
Caller, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Hey, Andy. Hey, Randy. How y'all doing today?
We're good, Terry. We're glad to have you, buddy.
Good to be with y'all. A couple of months ago, we were talking about the Auburn quarterback situation. I think we all agreed that if T.J. Finley was a starter, Auburn was staring at a 6-6 year. Do y'all stand by that statement? Because I do.
I would stand by it if he happens to be the starter in week 4. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Now, so I do think that just because he starts this first game or even the second game doesn't mean that one of these other guys, namely Robbie Ashford, can't show his worth and end up with a job. So
same thing for Robbie Ashford. If he gets on the field, he'll never get his job back.
Well, I think he could. I don't know. I've seen Robbie Ashford in high school a lot. That does not mean that I've seen him in a college atmosphere. So I do like his athleticism. I think his ceiling's high. I believe that. I know he's mobile, and I don't think that you can get a good look on Robbie Ashford at all with, one of those yellow jerseys on not being hit. I mean, I think he's one of those guys that you got to wait and see how it's played when everything's live, and he can be hit, which means he also can make you miss and make plays outside of the pocket. Because tell me, Terry, I don't know what Damian Craig looked like when he dropped back and threw the ball, and if he was perfect in practice when they couldn't hit him. But when the game turned on and you went after him, he made plays, and he made a lot of plays out of the pocket. And I think that that's the type of player Robbie Ashford possibly could be.
Oh, if Damian Craig could have been born years later and been running Gus Malzahn's offense, Auburn would have won a national championship.
I agree with you, Terry. Totally.
And I think he was that dynamic and that awesome of a football player. The same way, and I'm telling on myself here, I'm 55 years old, but there was a guy back in the early 80s named Reggie Collier that was that way too.
Yep.
So I know that's way before y'all's time. I'm tired of hearing give him a chance. I'm tired of hearing about Jason Campbell in 2004. I'm tired of hearing about Kyle Trask a couple of years ago. Okay, whatever. That's fine. Everybody says wants to believe in Brian Harsin. I find it hard to believe in a guy. First of all, I don't like. I think y'all know that. That has a recruiting class as poor as he does, which had a losing record, and has other issues on the table that I'm not going to say on the air that are not mentioned. And look, you got rid of Frick. Now let's get rid of Frack. So, I mean, that's the point. Let's get us a real football coach. Somebody knows the Southeastern Conference. Coaches have egos, and what concerns me about this T.J. Finley move is Brian Harsin falls in love with what he wants, not what he needs. He always talks about T.J. Finley could get guys lined up right, get guys lined up correctly, get them in the right play, but he never talks about what happens after the ball is snapped. And that's where T.J. Finley falls apart. He falls apart when there's 90,000 people in the stands and there's 36 cameras turned on him and lights are turned on him, bright lights, and he's on the TV and there's millions of people watching. That's when he falls apart. I know coaches have to go by what they see in practice. I understand that. But that's where I've got the complaint. That's where I've made the statement just a moment ago that I think if Robbie Ashford ever gets on the field, his athleticism will take over, and Brian Harsin will learn yet another lesson in the Southeastern Conference.
I think that's going to be, something that we'll have to wait and see, and I don't think we'll know it until week 3. The first 2 games, if either of those are close, we're in trouble anyway. So you may not know much whatsoever, but I'd be shocked if we didn't see a lot of Robbie Ashford on Saturday. And I can tell you this:
if Auburn leads at halftime, something like 17-7 against Mercer, do you think the Boo Birds come out?
It's not that. I think that you're going to see other quarterbacks get an opportunity if that's the case. And that's all I hear you saying, Terry, and I'm kind of in the same boat you are. If Auburn's defense only gives up 7 points in the half and maybe only gives up, 10 or 14 points in the ball game to a Mercer team that scored 60 last week, I'm not saying that they're some dynamic offensive team, but I am saying I think we're pretty good defensively. And I think we cover.
26-10, then people are going to start talking.
Well, I think you can.
And one of those touchdowns is a defensive touchdown.
I think you can cover a lot of L's in the early part of the season if your defense is as good as this one may be. We'll just have to wait and see. But the more I look at it, I think this defensive line can be very, very good. A couple of guys that could be pros on that defensive front, one for sure. And if that's the case,
Randy, I'm going to say this: Auburn's defense is going to be good enough to keep them in the game, which means they're going to lose a lot of games 17-3.
Which was unfortunate last year. Thank you, Terry. Which is unfortunate last year, but. I think, like I said, you got to find a way to win those close ones.
Yeah, and that's the difference between making a play, one play here or there, or making a stop here or there, getting a turnover. There were a statistic I said we'll talk about a little bit later today, but 3 of 20 recovering fumbles. We only recovered 3 fumbles. We caused 20. Now, a lot of that's just bad luck, because the ball bounces some odd ways at times. But if Auburn recovers half of those, that probably changes how many games. That might translate into 2 or 3 wins. You never know. Because turnover in a big point in the game, you got to make those kind of plays.
As we head into the season, Andy, I strongly want to say this because I have been probably more pessimistic than you or Brett.
Okay. Oh, come on now. Not more than Brett.
The basement's not what I'm expecting this year. I don't see, like when I look at this team, I'm like, you know what? We're going to be good on the defensive side of the ball. I really think that. And I know I've said it a bunch, but I mean that. And when you say that, you got something to hang your hat on. And no, are we going to win 11 or 12 football games? I'm not. But I think there are a lot of Auburn fans that have jumped ship already before the season starts. Is Grant Loy our backup quarterback this year?
No.
Well, then, everybody just tap the brakes a bit. The backup ceiling's high. I believe that. And if your backup ceiling's high, you got options. If the first one that you throw out there doesn't play well, give the next one a chance.
And Brian Harsin proved Bo Nix, he benched him.
Yeah.
So, if it's not working, he will go to the next guy. We have to take another break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
Russell Building Supply and Home Center is just around the corner in a brand new convenient location with a wide selection of grills, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. The new store offers more home improvement items along with other helpful conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard and our Best Rewards program, making it an ideal destination for do-it-yourselfers and professional contractors. Get ready for game day on the plains by stocking up on all your Auburn tailgating gear at Russell Building Supply and Home Center.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you. About 30 more minutes left in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us today. Give us a call, 256-234-6221. We are brought to you each and every day by Big Fish Real Estate. And we'll go back to the phone line.
Caller, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Yeah, Randy, Andy, how y'all doing?
We're good, James. Glad to have you.
Well, glad to be here. Hey, what's the deal with Calzada now? Is he still on the team, or is he going to go somewhere else, or what's he going to do?
Last I'd heard, he was still on the team, but he's not listed in the depth chart. So, of course, they only did the first and second string. But
yeah,
he's destined to hold a clipboard right now.
I haven't heard different, James, and I really feel strongly I would have if that would have been the case. And but I do think that there was some buzz around the program last week that he may be looking at the portal. But at this point, I think he was, reading between the lines, talked into hanging around. And look, if you swap teams twice within a 12-month period, it doesn't look, at some point, it doesn't look good on you.
No. Well, my question about it, he was supposed to come in and just win that job hands down. I don't know if feet of stone can move at all, but I'll say this. like you were talking about a while ago, Randy, was a Ashford boy. He's got plenty of potential, and the guy down there at the bottom, the boy Gerner, if he has to take that red shirt off, that's all right too. He's very impressive, and I mean, I know he was in high school last year, but we've had that before. We've had we had Bo Nix start as a freshman. Hell, I mean, it's nothing new, but you'd hate to see that happen. But I don't know if Finley could move a little bit. If he could move as good as Jeremy Johnson. I remember one play Jeremy Johnson. This was when he was quit. He was a starter. In other words, I guess it was 15. I remember one run he made for about 65 yards, and I thought he was going to pull Braden Smith's shoulder pads off of him. He was hiding behind him, and he just stayed behind him the whole way. But, you can run fast as you're scared. So I think that's probably what it was with him. I just don't know. He could come on and have a decent year, but, God, he can't move. I mean, I watched him, and I'll say this, in that Alabama game, he got his ankle messed up, too. He was a warrior there. I'll give him that because he was playing hurt. And, we lost the game, and I didn't like it worth a darn. It took me about 30 minutes to quit cussing. But, I still like our team. I do. Always will. But maybe, if we don't beat Mercer, I mean, my God. But anyway, we've got to win some of those games down the road. I do know that. And I think that between those three quarterbacks or four, if Calzada get his head out of where sun's not shining right now, he may be all right, but he's going to have to do something and do it quick. In fact, that clipboard's going to get awful heavy. But Andy, you feeling better? They were talking about you the other day, and it was all nice.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm feeling better. I'm not 100%, but I'm better for sure.
Good. Got one more question for you, Andy. Did you have any kin people from over around Selma?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna say no that I know of.
Yeah. I just wondered if you were kin to that General Henry Graham that got Wallace out of the schoolhouse door.
No, I have no clue.
He'll have to check on that, James.
I might do that. A bunch of them, he was kin to me. There's a whole bunch of other Grahams. I was just trying to see if I needed to send you a thing to our family reunion the next time we have one, which will be the first one.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, I was just curious about that. Randy, keep him straight, buddy.
I will, James. Thanks for the call, bud. We appreciate it. And I'm with James. At this point, I'm not jumping off the bridge. I think that we got a chance.
Yeah.
Look, the season's about to start, and I'm looking around, and I'm buying in. I'm drinking my Kool-Aid, and Kool-Aid's tasting pretty good. And I know we don't have to play Penn State first week, so I'm kind of excited about that.
If there's ever a more succinct and apropos phrase to start the game week, it's if we don't beat Mercer, my God. That about sums it up, doesn't it?
Well, the really bad years we've had is when we've had to get an onside kick to win a game against someone.
Utah State.
Or had to win in overtime against Jacksonville State with a touchdown just to throw up touchdown. When that happens, you can go ahead and the writing's on the wall. So yes, we better take it to them.
The sad thing is the last time we struggled with Mercer, and it was a 1 point or a 1 score game in the fourth quarter. We were one of the better teams we've had. That was 2017. We go to the SEC title game. So who knows with this? With Auburn, you might have a great team and just stink one week. I think that's one of the more frustrating things. We never quite know where we are, but it's also that's why every time it leads us to believe, if we start, coming together and we have a few breaks, we could actually be a really good team because we've seen it happen so many times. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It cuts both ways for Auburn. But anyway, we'll take a break. We'll kind of run down and look at the depth chart a little bit. No surprises. The offensive line, though, that's the one I think we were kind of interested in what it's going to look like. But if that position group can come through and play well, then Auburn might have something for sure. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Lake Martin has a new car buying experience. It's the TR Group of Alex City on Cherokee Road. The TR Group has up to 100 late model vehicles to choose from and will not be beat on price, selection, or financing. With the TR Group, your selection and quality is easy and your good credit is rewarded. But we offer guaranteed financing on our inventory because your future is more important than your past. The TR Group, Lake Martin's new standard in auto sales. Located at 814 Cherokee Road, Alex City, USA.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Attention. Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with cancer after using Zantac or other heartburn medications for several months? You may be entitled to compensation. Call Zantac Justice now for a free legal case review. The FDA has warned that Zantac and other medications containing heartburn drug ranitidine may be contaminated with cancer-causing agent NDMA. Consult your physician prior to discontinuing any use of medication.
Please call 800-379-5986.
Hey, honey, it's Mom. Just wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say not to worry. Everything is great. But we miss you. I'll call you back later. How are you? Tell me everything.
Everything's great. I love it here.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Alex City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house, you need 3 things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually 4. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. September 15th, 7 p.m., the Gouge Performing Arts Center at Auburn University. Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. Buy tickets at the box office or visit GougeCenterTickets.auburn.edu. The new album, Georgia Blue, out now.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogrooom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker, 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 Brubaker.
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you. Just a couple more segments left in today's show. It is Tuesday. We are hurtling toward game day, Saturday night. Mercer and Auburn in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Let's see. Ty says, my Alabama friend. Ty, come on, man. Who has an Alabama? No, I'm kidding. Said that as long as Jimmy Raines is on the Auburn board, Auburn will never get a top-notch football coach. I'm not sure those are mutually exclusive. When's the last time we had a top-notch football coach? Pat Dye? Tommy Tuberville? Was Tommy Tuberville?
Tuberville more than even Dye when we went and got him. He was wanted and had shown success at Ole Miss. But other than that, the guys that we have gone and brought in as head coaches have been at a much smaller level than where we bring them into. Brian Harsin, probably equal to Tommy Tuberville. Wouldn't you agree? I would say what he did at Boise was equal to what Tommy Tuberville did at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I mean, success is probably
better, but you got to take into consideration
the
talent level that you're dealing with. So
I can see that.
I see both of them, but no, I don't think Auburn's ever gone out and hired a big-time name that was a no-brainer. And very few programs have. Every time a coaching search comes up, we have this conversation.
You're saying 5-19 is not a good record?
No, that was not a good hire. And that didn't work out. It didn't work out too bad. I mean, we got 1 year of greatness out of it, but no,
that's just Auburn. Auburn can turn, they can turn coal into gold, but they can also turn gold into coal.
That's what you're looking. That's what you see this year. Like, I don't look down at Auburn's depth chart and go, there's no players on there. There's no talent there. There's no possible NFL players on that squad. Now I see a pretty talented team. Just have no earthly idea what we're going to get from the quarterback position. And if the offensive line, if you told me at the end of the year the offensive line was the reason that we only won 6 or 7 games because we were terrible up there because we have suffered recruiting so bad over the last decade at that position, I'd be, well, okay, makes sense. But that's where we are. Outside of those 2 positions and the backups at linebacker, and I don't mean any names personally, but the only position defensively that I go, we're not comparable to the rest of the SEC is our linebacking play.
Yeah.
I like our defensive front as much as I like anybody else's, and I think our secondary is very athletic.
Jim says, Andy and Randy, Vegas is giving 1,000 to 1 odds. Brian Harsin is gone by the end of the season. You taking that bet?
That's a pretty good bet.
That's pretty good odds.
How many wins do you think he needs with Allen Green gone? Have y'all had that talk yet?
I mean, I've said I think it's going to take 10 wins because I don't think the more I think about it, and I don't see this season ending up mediocre. I think it's either going to skew really good or really bad. So I think if I don't think there is a number. I don't think there's a specific number he's got to have But I think 10 wins is what it's going to take probably to save it.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
I know.
Andy, you have really gone out there with that. First off, I'm not expecting that to happen.
No, I was 10 with a bowl win.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
That's
I can see
9-3.
that. I can see that. Look, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid at this point. I can see. I
ain't saying it's likely.
There's no part of me that. I mean, until we change what we've been doing against Georgia and Alabama on the road. Now we can beat both of them at home. We can't beat Georgia many places at all, but we can beat Alabama at home. If we didn't have a close game when we had a decent team against Alabama at home, I'd be shocked. But we haven't beaten them there since 2010. We haven't beaten Georgia on the road since Brandon Cox was our quarterback. Is that right?
Yeah.
We have not beaten Georgia in Athens since 2005. Is that right?
That is correct.
That is painful. That's painful to let it roll off the tongue.
Yes, it is. And these are not all good Georgia teams.
Ooh, no, there's been some terrible ones mixed in there. That game we rolled over there with Sean White and didn't beat that. That Georgia team was awful.
Pick 6 to start the second half. That was the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the one. I was there.
Yeah,
I was unfortunately in the stands when that nightmare happened. I mean, they were up and leaving. They had enough. They had seen all they wanted to see.
And that was Kirby.
And we didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah. Luke says, serious question, as opposed to most of his questions. Why all the faith in Ashford? He wasn't close to winning the Oregon job. I'm not sure Finley isn't simply better than him, although like Randy, I loved Ashford in high school.
It's not that I have faith. It's just that I think his athleticism ceiling's higher than some other backups that we've had in the past. You know, we've the Grant Loys, I know I keep going back to that, but we've had some backups in the past where you go, if we ever end up with that guy out there on the field, we are in trouble. I don't watch Robbie Ashford and think that if he had some coaching that he couldn't be coached up and be a very, very good SEC quarterback. It's not that I have faith in him. I've just got faith in what you and I have seen, Luke, and you've been with me when we've seen it. I've seen him enough to know that there's a skill set there that if it's groomed, it can be really good. I'll
John
leave it at that.
Cooley. Wasn't that,
Yeah, he was a backup.
That was the one I was.
Yeah, he was a backup at one.
Oh, me. Okay, we got to take a break. We'll be back with one final segment of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare. Serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.